are you? Are you lost? Do you need some help? Anyways, my house is not that far from here. You can stay there until we figure out a way to get you home.
In any case, you should tread carefully. As an outsider, you'll never know what you'll be up against. If you are able to change Lady Andra's mind so convincingly, I have hope that you'll be able to change Lady Charlotte's mind as well.
Hello, my name is Rue. I go by any pronouns, and the characters I'm voicing include Catherine the small magma slime and Mia the medium magma slime. I am currently a college student studying film and media, but I also love to voice act and sing. I usually voice smaller children like Catherine. Mia's gonna be one of the first of my roles where I'm actually voicing as someone similar to my age. Obviously, she's a magma slime, but she's more similar to my current voice, and that's the first time I've ever done it. Usually, I do a lot of impressions of smaller individuals like Aquaman.exe from Mega Man, and then I also can do a really good Pikachu impression, so I usually take those and put them into characters like Catherine, where they're smaller children. I first heard of Mob Talker back in like 2015. I was probably 8 or 9, so I didn't get that into the community, but I loved the character designs. I remember being really fond of the character designs for Slimes. It was so simple, but I loved Lori's design, and she's just so cute. I love Lori. But when it comes to the project, I first heard of it on Casting Call Club. I was just like, looking for little gigs. I was trying to audition for as many roles as I can, as one broke voice actor does. And I saw Mob Talker. I did see a lot of people like audition for it at the time, and I was a little bit intimidated, but I was like, you know what, why not? Like, the worst that happens is that you get rejected. Like, it's whatever. And here I am. I'm very glad that I auditioned. When it comes to my characters, Catherine and Mia, the Magma Slimes, I fell in love with them. I remember auditioning for them thinking I wasn't going to get those roles. I didn't feel that confident, but after I got them, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And actually, getting Mia, I think I've said this before, but she's one of my first roles where I actually have like a deeper voice. Usually I only play as like childlike characters. So getting Mia, it was just like, finally. Finally, I can finally just use something more similar to my natural voice. But I love their character. I love their personality. I like how polite they are. Like, usually you would think of a magma slime to be more chaotic, because, they live in the nether. But having them be more on the polite side, I love their dynamic with all three sisters. It's very interesting to learn about them. I'd probably get to know them. I would love to meet them if I could. I think Mia and I would be pretty good friends. Though I'm not quite too sure. I'm more on the chaotic side. So I don't know if she'd like that. But opposites attract. I think, and especially with Catherine, oh my god, I would love to talk to her. She'd be so sweet to talk to. She's such a sweet little child, and I want to hug her. When it comes to like aspects of their story, I'd love to see their like actual backstories, just for all three sisters, like how they grew up and stuff. I find it so interesting that they're so different from most of the other characters, and I wonder how they got there. I'm not very familiar with the story, with the actual story and the actual mod, so, but like, I don't know. I just feel like seeing their backstories would be really cool. I think I really started to get into voice acting and learning how to voice act back when I was like 14, so like maybe like 4 years ago. Um, I I was beginning to consider being a film and media major and trying to pursue a film career. And I was always a big fan of like animated stuff. And I that was around the time when I got into anime as well. I loved voice acting. I thought it was such a great like work of art. Lack of better wording. I feel like I could do better, but I really started taking like my hobby of voice acting seriously last August. I actually never had gotten roles before, and my first role was like a Minecraft machinima of Silent Hill 2 to celebrate the remastered version of it. And I was casted as Laura. I got casted the same day I auditioned, and I don't know. I don't think I'll ever like get over that feeling of being like casted and given a role, because as you know, voice acting is such a competitive industry. Even though like all the gigs I've done like are completely unpaid, I love voice acting. I love acting for people. I don't think I could ever act on an actual stage. I have terrible stage fright. So, voice acting is the next best thing. Lily Pichu. Such an easy question. She's a wonderful voice actor. She hasn't had that many, like, really big roles, but, like, she's been in Kimi ni Todoke as the dog. Like, she's such a beacon of light for me. When I first started watching her, I was probably like 12, 13, maybe 14 even, when I first started getting into all the film stuff. She was doing a lot of voice acting workshops, and just seeing her grow inspired me, like, you know what, I want to do that too. And she has a very high-pitched voice. Back then, I had a super high-pitched voice. I think I can get higher depending on my mood, but back then I sounded like a freaking baby. People would often make fun of me for my voice, but whenever I saw her just like embracing it, embracing her voice, and I was like, dang, I want to be just like her. Not like just like her, but like, she's an idol of mine. And I respect her so much, and she definitely inspired me to actually take this whole voice acting thing seriously. And I thank her for that. The best advice I can give to someone who wants to do voice acting is to just do it. Do not hesitate, because you never know what will happen. In a professional standpoint, most people don't even think you need a professional like setup until you actually get into the what's the word the recording room. I used to do a bunch of content creating, so I already had like a pretty decent setup, but like right now I'm using a Shure SM7B, which is usually for podcasting, yet I'm using it for voice acting. So it's like, use whatever you have, make sure you have a quiet room, and just audition, because you never know if anyone will like you, will like your voice. And no matter what, someone will love your voice, and they will. You just gotta keep trying. When I first started taking it seriously, I'd often I'd only choose projects that I think I would have a good chance in, and I shouldn't have done that. You should just do it, because worst case scenario, you'll just forget about it and you won't get accepted, which is fine, because you never know. So it's worth it to try. I mean, it might get a little bit personal, but I do have depression, and I do struggle with like self-worth, but I think just reminding myself that as long as I'm alive, that is enough. And I have people around me who think the same thing. As long as I'm alive, like, they don't care they don't care if I'm like staying in bed all day. Like, as long as I'm alive and well, like that's all they care about. And I believe the same thing. And I think it goes for a bunch of people, especially ones with mental issues. Because some days you have good days and you have bad days. Obviously that's for everyone, but with mental issues it can be so much harder. And I think it's just so important to remember that you are alive, and that'll always be enough, no matter who you are.
Thank you so much for listening in and getting to know me. You can find me at Casting Call Club. It's castingcall.club / capital R capital U 3 Rue. And then you can also find me at YouTube at capital R capital U 3 period. I plan to make gaming videos there at some point, but there's also a public playlist of videos I'm currently in. And so yeah, you can go ahead and check those out. That'd be great. Thank you so much. Bye-bye!